Hey guys, what's going on? This is Christo here. I'm going to do a quick product review of the CycleTorch Shark 500 here. Has been an awesome light since I got it a couple weeks ago. I've had a good chance to put it through the paces. It's been quite a few hours on the bike so far for testing, and now I feel confident in leaving some honest feedback about this. So let's get started. Okay, so the kit comes with two lights actually, but the main one we're going to look at and talk about for the first little bit is this guy. It's the Shark 500, like I said, and this is constructed out of ABS plastic. It feels well constructed, it doesn't feel cheap, but if you can hear, this might be a little hollow, the hood here for the light, and it's just to help with the weight, because it is actually significantly lighter than a couple other lights that I've tried in the same lumen range. So this is called the Shark 500 because it is 500 lumens. That's the brightness, and that is quite bright and does fantastic on the bike. We'll get to those tests a little bit later though. Okay, and the fantastic thing about these lights is they come in numerous colors. So right here I have the blue set. I've been using this almost exclusively on my bike, but I did get at the same time another color that I have used in conjunction. So let's go ahead and open the CycleTorch pack from the get-go. So it comes in a box, a nice sturdy looking box, and it's magnetic front end, so nice presentation here. You get a thank you card from CycleTorch. It just tells you a little bit about the light, and it says, "Hi, I'm your new USB bike light, call me Sharky, can't wait to get on your bike." So it gives you a little bit of information how you can contact them on social media, and then you have the lights. Here's a slot in here for both of them, and you can see they match. So black and gray is the theme on this guy. Again, same model, Shark 500. Other things you'll get in the box here are USB cables, and they actually give you two, which is really generous. You have the micro USB here. Micro USB is common on telephones for lots of devices for charging and data. So you might have one of these laying around the house. So in the case that you lose these, they're easy to come by new ones. So you have a short one here, is just a few inches long, up to one that's a couple feet long. So they're the same thing essentially. You don't have the little USB charging dongle that some devices come with. So either you can steal one from your phone to plug it into the wall, or you can just plug this directly into a laptop or a computer and charge that way as well. So there's the charging cables. You have two of those, and you'll have three straps. These are all in different lengths, which is nice. So it all depends on the bike needs that you have. So for my frame, I haven't needed, for my bike that I've been training on, I haven't needed this long one. So I've just been using these two, and they're really simple to put on these devices. So there is essentially a hook on either side. I'll show you that. A hook area, and this is more just to strap it over your bike. Same thing with this guy. You hook it up here to the front of the device, and I'll do that right now. Once you hook it onto the light and you string it on there, it doesn't feel like it's going to come off. So it's nice and sturdy. Then all you have to do is this can come on and off your bike really quickly, which is what I like a lot about these lights. One of the main reasons that attracted me to them. Because when I train during the day, I want my bike to be aerodynamic and as light as possible. I don't want the extra hardware on there to get stolen if I was to leave my bike. So I like that these come off so easily. So essentially I'll put it on my bars, and you can just strap it on like so. And I'll show you that to the strapping it on the bike here in just a minute. This exact same thing with this guy that'll go on the back of the bike, the red light. You strap it on there, does not feel like it's going to come off, and I'll just strap it around my frame and secure it like so. Moving on from there, it does come with a card all about me, and that's all that's really included in the box here. But there's a little instruction manual essentially that'll give you all sorts of information on the light, how to perform, or how it performs, the amount of hours it runs on. For instance, this has a few different modes on it. On its brightest setting, it will have a lifespan of, where is it, 1.5 hours, and that is shining at the full brightness of 500 lumens. Then at 3 hours, which is a medium brightness, it's about 250 lumens. So you'll double the time if you cut the lumens in half there. Then there's a low setting that's 50 lumens, an approximate, and that should last you about 15 hours. Honestly, when I've tested the 3 different modes going from high, medium, and low, there is a difference, although it's not nearly as significant as you think it sounds. You think 50 lumens sounds like it's you know, a tenth as strong as 500 lumens, but that's not the case, or that's not what I found to be the case at all. It maybe have 2/3 of the brightness is cut back, or a third of the brightness is cut back, so it's still 2/3 as bright as the full high power, and it will last the 15 hours. A great feature that they built these lights with in mind is a waterproof rating, or not waterproof, but water resistant rather. They are rated up to IP65. Now I had to search what exactly IP65 was, but I'll put a little explanation here on the screen for you. Essentially, this is able to protect against water jets from any direction, shooting from any direction of the light for up to 15 minutes. So you can imagine this performs just fine in the rain. Now on the back here you have little doors for the charging access. They're little rubber doors that press firmly into the charge ports. This has a single flap, and on this light it is a little bit more complicated to get it out, which is a good thing. I'd rather it too hard. But once you pick it away, the door is significantly bigger, the charge port door on here. But they create a nice tight water seal, so you can feel confident riding in the rain with these. Now the rear lights are super easy to function. The entire light here at the end just clicks on and off, and you can listen to the button has a nice tactile response. And essentially, once you turn on the light, it'll hold steady here. I push it again, and I can toggle through the modes. And if I hold that button down for just a couple seconds, it'll actually toggle off the light, and it's fantastic. I have never burnt out of the battery in this. So I've been using this one on my bike. It runs every time I run the CycleTorch headlamp, and I've never had to recharge this, so it hasn't died. So that's been fantastic. I don't know if you can see the inside of both of these guys, but they are different. I don't know if each color comes with a different lens, or it's just hit and miss. Maybe they changed the style and I happened to get 2 of them. But this guy has a fairly clear screen, so you can see the LED in there nicely. On the blue one here though, the screen actually has a bunch of, I don't know what you want to call them, just little plastic dots in there, so it kind of spreads the light a little better, if you can see that. You can see it aside from the side angle a little better than you can this black light. Now to go through the modes quickly on the Shark 500, you press once to turn on the light, and then from here you can essentially just toggle through the modes. That will be your medium setting, that'll be low brightness, and then this is your daytime mode, which essentially is just flashing. Just like the tail light, if you want to turn this off, all you have to do is hold down the button for a couple seconds, and that kills it. So great little feature. Now let's go inside and look at the charging.
Now before we get into charging, I wanted to show you a great feature that they implemented on this guy. So essentially, if I hold down the top button here, you'll start getting a series of flashes. And essentially, those flashes are telling you how much battery is inside of this unit. So I just held down the button and I only got 3 flashes. That indicates that my battery is nearing dead. So once it hits 3 flashes, then generally that's when the red light will come up here on top of the unit if I was to use it. There you can see the light. There's the flash, and now you can see it just moved to the red light. And you can see the button a lot better in here than you could outside. So I have the red light, and that generally happens during the 3 flashes. Now this can go up to 10 flashes. If you were to hold that button down the entire time and you get 10 flashes out of this light, that means you have a full battery to go out with. Okay, so we're gonna go to the wall here, and I'm just gonna steal my little wall plug from my iPhone. I simply have to plug in the USB, I'll throw that into the wall, and then on the back of the unit here, we already showed you, but all I have to do is open up this little flap door in the back, plug in the USB, and you'll immediately see that the light on top goes red. Red indicates that it's charging, and until that turns blue, it's in the charging process. Once it turns blue, you know it's at 100% and it's fully charged. You can then disconnect it and go off and use it. Now with the smaller light, here's the rear light. I told you this is a little bit harder to get the back end off. But once you do, again, simply plug in the USB and you'll see that the light goes on here. Now I'll unplug that just to show you again. And again, that light is indicating that this is being charged. Once that light goes out and is no longer illuminated, you have a full charge on the rear light. And it projects a really nice pattern in front of the bike that is quite useful. Now I'm going to go between the different modes here. Right now I'm in the brightest mode. I'm going to toggle to medium. And you can see there's hardly any difference in brightness, but that's medium. I'm going to bring it down to low and you'll see just a little bit of difference again. And there you see it's a bit, it's not quite as bright. Like I said, maybe 2/3 as bright. But if you're getting 15 hours versus an hour and a half of battery life, it's definitely worth using this mode if you're not riding super fast or on a tight road. Okay, so we come out here to my training bike. So just coming up here to the bike, I just set it on my bars. I snap in the back side and it's on there. Really sturdy. I mean, you can see it moves my whole bike. And I turn it on and I'm good to go. So there's the front light. Simply just wrap the band around and snap it into the back of the Shark 500. Okay, the back of the bike is much of the same thing. You will notice though, however, that this actually has a slight bevel to it on the rear of the backlight. So I just make sure that the CycleTorch logo is faced up. And again, I just put it somewhere on my frame. They have these handy little tabs, and there you go. It's on there. It's very secure. And when I'm ready to take it off, it's off. I can throw this in my pocket and we're good to go. Okay, great. Now you know how the light looks, how it functions. Now let's go see how it performs.
And on the 7th day, God said, "Let there be light."
Pew, 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 pew. Let's start out here with the bright light. Now this is on the bright setting. This is more or less how I would have it pointed if I was on the bike, just so I'm not beating into pedestrians' eyes. But you could point it up a little bit further and you can see, you get some major reach out of here. The end of the road at this particular piece is about 500 to 600 feet away. And you can see I can beam up these trees here. That's about half that distance, maybe 250 feet. That tree down there on the right side is easily that full length. So it's quite bright. So this is the bright setting. There's medium. There's low. Just so you can see in comparison, shining these further objects. That's the difference between high and low. So when you're getting, this is the hour-and-a-half battery, 3 hours I believe it was, and the 15 hours, it's a significant difference in battery life without having to compromise much on the brightness. Alright, now that I've found my way to the end of the street, again I'm 500 to 600 feet away from the camera. I'm shining the light as I would have it on my bike so it's not in somebody's eyes. But if you wanted to beam it down, range a little bit further to get some more reach, this is what oncoming traffic could experience. This is how bright it would be in their eyes with the high setting. Here's the medium setting and the low setting. And lastly, here's some footage just for kicks of the tail light at the same distance of about 600 feet. Again, here's the tail light at about 250 feet, about halfway out. And finally, I'm about 20 feet away from the camera right here, and I'll just toggle through the numerous modes. This last one is my particular favorite. I like the slow strobing, heartbeat looking mode. It's quite cool.
Here's a really good test for you. You can see the two signs down there, how light and bright they are illuminated by the flashing daytime running lights on here. It's the same thing if I were to have this beam on high, but the white sign on the left is roughly 400 meters from here, where the yellow sign on the right is about, I'd say, maybe 320 or so. Put that into comparison, this is a pretty bright light. All right, so I just switched from the high beam to the flash, but I've been riding on high almost the entire time, and it just went red. We still have another 20-minute ride or so. I need the battery to last, so I turned it on flash, which should be the most power efficient. Awesome, so I found something cool. The Shark 500 went back to a blue light rather than a red light, which means that the battery is not completely depleted. All right, the sun's completely exposed, no clouds are in front of it, and I'm about 600 feet away from the bike. You can still see it very clearly with the naked eye. It's a little harder with the camera, but trust me, it's very obvious.
So there you have it, you guys, the CycleTorch Shark 500 light. A fantastic light. I'm so happy to have it on my bike. It's been very useful, the best light I have ever owned. So I definitely suggest getting it for yourself. Something worth mentioning is that it comes with a 1-year limited warranty. If anything were to go wrong with the device, you just send it back and they'll get your replacement. But beyond that, what's something really cool that this company does that I haven't seen elsewhere is that they also do a limited lifetime warranty. And what that essentially does is cover you if the LED dies in it or the battery might die. You just send it to them, pay for the part, and they'll waive the labor costs for you and send it right back. So that's super cool. I've dealt with the customer service just in dealing with some sponsorship opportunities and such, and they've been fantastic. Very, very nice and understanding people, and it's a great company. So I'm so excited to have found this light and to be using it. I strongly suggest you do the same. But as for now, I hope this was useful. You guys have a great day. Thank you for watching. Christo is out. Ciao.